Former Monday Night Football host Frank Gifford during his 2012 induction into the Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame. Gifford, who played for the New York Giants, also a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, died today of natural causes at the age of 84. Donald Trump insisting what he said about Fox's Megyn Kelly after Thursday night's presidential debate was neither sexist nor offensive, but his invitation to a conservative event this weekend was revoked because of it.
I apologize when I'm wrong, but I haven't been wrong. I mean, I said nothing wrong. There's nothing. It's a very common statement. I've said it about many. Excuse me, I said it about Chris Wallace. I said there was blood pouring because he tried to question me.
Kentucky Senator Rand Paul among the GOP candidates dissing Trump
because he can stand up and say vulgar things and he's a truth teller. Well, the truth is, what is he for? I have no idea whether he's conservative. He really could be a liberal for all I'm concerned. I have no idea what his real philosophy is other than that he is for promoting himself.
Senator Paul on Fox News Sunday talk of post-debate momentum.
New polling will shed light on who's moving up or down. But former Texas Governor Rick Perry said on ABC's This Week he's focused on being on the trail.
Talking to the people. They're the ones that are going to show up for the caucus and primaries.
Former CEO Carly Fiorina impressed many in the so-called happy hour debate. She said on Fox News Sunday that low poll numbers have haunted past candidates.
Jimmy Carter couldn't win, Ronald Reagan couldn't win, Bill Clinton couldn't win, and Barack Obama couldn't win. So the truth is this race has just gotten started and game on.
The next GOP debate is set for September in California.
Fox Radio's Gernal Scott, the presidential election roughly 15 months away. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
I'm Paul Bodenloss with a look at the roadways. On the Chicago Skyway heading westbound, it's a little heavy between King Drive and the Dan Ryan. Also slowing down on 8094 westbound between Grant Street and Indianapolis Boulevard. Over on the Edens Expressway, the Edens Spur Ramp heading eastbound just after Waukegan Road on the Tri-State Spur Ramp to the Edens Expressway is slow. Also on the Kennedy inbound, it slows down between the O'Hare Extension and Canfield. O'Hare to downtown is 21 minutes. From the junction is 10. The outbound lanes have no delays on the Kennedy, and the express lanes are moving outbound. On the Dan Ryan heading inbound between the Stevenson Expressway and the Burn Circle interchange, it slows down. There is the Burn Circle project that continues. You can expect that to last until the end of the summer. Taking a look at the temperatures tonight, 72, and thunderstorms tomorrow, 80. Currently at 75. Next update in 15 minutes on AM560 The Answer.
If you're looking for a better shooting experience, imagine shooting virtually all your firearms the same day. You can move and shoot steel, draw from the holster, or compete in a 3-gun match. You can exercise that rifle out to 600 yards, even engage in a very challenging sporting clays course or a round of trap or skeet. Do all that and much more at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Whether you're a novice looking for a basic course or an experienced shooter looking for an advanced course, even if you want to participate in your favorite shooting event such as IDPA or cowboy action shooting, spend an enjoyable day with the family at the Aurora Sportsman's Club, the only shooting facility in the region that offers all of that and more. If that sounds interesting, don't miss the next orientation and a tour of the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman, Illinois. Call the membership department at 815-264-9000 extension 44 for information. That's 815-264-9000 extension 44 to join a one-of-a-kind shooting facility. The Aurora Sportsman's Club.
If you're in the red zone of retirement, and by that we mean those very critical savings years just before you retire, you really need to talk to Jack Tabota of Tabota & Associates. You see, it's vitally important to squeeze the most growth from those last critical years, but you have to remain vigilant against undue risk. Tabota & Associates has a blueprint to help you do this very thing. They put this into practice for many of their clients. You see, if you have this specialized knowledge and the right tools, it's possible to stay in the market where the best growth opportunities are, while still maintaining a conservative approach with your retirement dollars. Get across the desk from a professional retirement planner, Jack Tabota of Tabota & Associates, to make the most of your time in the red zone of retirement. Let Jack show you how. 630-777-7955. That's 630-777-7955. Investment advisory services offered through Global Financial Private Capital, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
If I could have gotten 51 votes
in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them. Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. I would have done it.
I have two words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David, Gretchen, and longtime friend of On Target Radio, John Howard IV of the U.S. Investigations and Projection Agency, will be talking with guests Village Manager Bola Delano of University Park and Sauk Village Manager and Director of Public Safety, J.W. Fairman, about their support for concealed carry, civilian firearm training, all that and more on tonight's On Target Radio. So be sure to give us a call at 312-642-5600 or go to Facebook, like our page, On Target Radio, and ask a question there.
And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's time for David's Rant of the Week.
Okay, note to Gary McCarthy, Chicago Superintendent of Police. Dear Superintendent McCarthy, for almost a year, I've been driving the streets of Chicago looking for the ones where the blood is running as a result of Illinois concealed carry. Could you give me those locations, please? You remember how you warned us blood would run in the streets, right? We remember. And what about that interview on radio station WVON in January 2013? You said at that time, you put more guns on the street, expect more shootings. I don't care if they're licensed legal firearms. It's a recipe for disaster. So I'll train our officers that there is a concealed carry law. But when somebody turns with a firearm in hand, the officer does not have an obligation to wait to get shot to return fire. And we're going to have tragedies as a result of that. I'm telling you right up front. Superintendent, can you cite a single occurrence of that happening? Because not only do you have a low opinion of those who would carry a firearm for self-defense, you also have a low opinion of your own cops if you don't think they're capable of dealing with concealed carry. 49 other states haven't had a problem, but you think your own force is incapable of dealing with it? I'd love to listen in on the conversations in cop locker rooms around the city if you're that down on your own personnel. You might want to take a look at the statistics released annually by the Justice Department, because nowhere in the United States have those issues occurred with any statistical relevance. We're talking well over 11 million concealed permit holders across the country, roughly 4.8% of the population. Take Florida, for example. Florida is the 500-pound gorilla in the world of concealed carry permits. Since 1988, the state of Florida has issued 2.5 million concealed carry permits. And to date, crime rate involving gun owners with carry licenses have consistently been about 0.02%. The fact is, Floridians are twice as likely to be attacked by an alligator as by a person with a concealed carry permit. And a word about the notion that concealed carry has no crime deterrent value. After Florida passed their concealed carry law, the Florida homicide rate fell from 36% above the national average to 4% below. In Texas, murder rates fell 50% faster than the national average in the year after their concealed carry law passed. Rape rates fell 93% faster in the first year after enactment and 500% faster in the second. Assaults fell 250% faster in the second. Department of Justice statistics tell us concealed permit holders are 5.7 times less likely to be arrested for violent offenses than the general public, and 13.5 times less likely to be arrested for nonviolent offenses than the general public. Across the United States since 2007, murder rates have fallen from 5.6 to 4.4 per 100,000. Now, that's a 22% drop. At the same time, the percentage of the adult population with permits soared by 130%. Overall, violent crime also fell by 22% during that period. And though mainstream media is loath to cover stories in which a concealed permit holder is a hero, some of the incidents do see the light of day. A citizen with a gun stopped a knife-wielding man as he began stabbing people in a Salt Lake City store. Two men retrieved firearms from their cars and stopped a mass murder at an Appalachian School of Law. An armed citizen stopped a shooter while police were pinned down in early Texas, and another armed citizen stopped an apartment shootout in Oklahoma City. Senator McCarthy, Superintendent McCarthy, I tell the truth when it supports my point of view or it detracts from it. Only by starting with the truth can you work on a solution to the problem. Lying merely deflects problem solving. I have defended you from the detractors that blame you for not solving the gang murder dilemma in Chicago. We both know that's not something cops can do. It's a societal problem, and it has to be handled by the family and within the community in general. Why don't you show law-abiding citizens of Chicago the same courtesy and be honest? You know full well the truth is that concealed carry is simply not a problem anywhere in the United States, and that includes the city of Chicago. Superintendent McCarthy, you're Chicago's top cop. Let's act like it. And that, Gretchen, is my rant for the week.
Yep, Dr. John Lott said it best. More guns, less crime.
There you go. Speaking of more guns, less crime, you're listening to On Target Radio. This is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Our guest this evening, as our good friend John Howard IV is in, who was with U.S. Investigations and Protection Agency. And John brought two very interesting people. We have J.W. Fairman, who is the manager and director of public safety in Sauk Village. Thank you for coming this evening. And we have Boca Delano, who's a village manager at University Park. Thank you for coming. And I find it interesting, and I'm just going to be honest and upfront here. You both come from Democratic areas, and typically being in support of concealed carry and owning guns is not a popular subject. You guys are at least open to this. So I'd be interesting to hear, and I'm sure our listeners, how does this come about?
Well, presently, it's the law that people are allowed to carry concealed weapons. And I think that both of us, and Bianca will probably tell you this, that, we're about training citizens how to actually use weapons should they become, able to obtain a permit to carry. We know based on the statistics that you've stated that, they have concealed carry weapons have been a reducive crime in this country.
And here's the interesting thing. People can disagree politically, but the basic right to defend yourself and your family should transcend, I think, everything. We have a right to take care of ourselves, do we not?
Yes, we do. I just want to reiterate the point again that it is the law. And as you referred to earlier, the truth is that we have to protect ourselves and people have to have the opportunity to protect themselves. However, the main issue from a public policy perspective is more of public safety for the individuals and how safe can individuals be if and when they have the opportunity to be faced with a gun or actually own a gun. So from our perspective, it's more of promoting a public safety educational program which will again protect the residents and residents in University Park first and foremost, but most importantly, Illinoisans as a whole. So in reference to your point, I mean, you made a point earlier that 5.7% people are less likely to be arrested for those who carry a gun. That's a major issue because it demonstrates that they understand the safety of having a gun. They understand when and how to use a gun, and so they don't use them in situations which you would call illegal.
Right, and I think the case is the reality that we're in a somewhat violent society. There are problems, and particularly in certain areas of cities, Chicago, Detroit, wherever it happens to be. What more basic right does anyone have than to say you can't break into my house and can't hurt me, you can't attack me? And I guess where we try and draw the line is law-abiding citizens aren't the problem. They're not the ones who cause the problem. We cite that statistic from Florida, and that statistic from Florida says very clearly the percentage of people who lawfully own a firearm, they don't contribute to the problem. Taking guns away from people doesn't make them safer.
That's correct. Trained a lot of people from civilians, the general public, law enforcement, elected officials, and I always ask the question, can you guarantee my safety? No.
Right.
No one can guarantee anyone's safety. I can't guarantee your safety when you leave here. My safety is not guaranteed by a new statute or a new law. There's 20,001 laws on the books that's supposed to protect us, but we're responsible for protecting ourselves.
Well, and you're absolutely right. And we're going to have to take a break, see how fast it goes. But you know, the joke in law enforcement always was, when seconds count, we're only minutes away. And that's just the unfortunate truth. And, you know, there are some places, and Will County is a good example, the south end of Will County. Now, Paul Kopus, the sheriff, told us when he was on the show that they've increased the number of patrol cars. But when I was on, there were 2 cars for the entire south part of that county. If one was on a call, it could be a half an hour, you know. So we're going to talk about that and more when we come back. You're listening to On Target Radio, and this is AM560 The Answer. That worked.
You saw that. If he wanted to hit my couch,
So that go okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you want me to get you water?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
So what do we want to
I think
talk
you forgot about me on purpose.
No, I only got 2 hands. I only have 2 hands.
What do we,
Two important people.
what do we want to talk about next? Where are we going?
Concealed carry law and education. Talk about training.
Well, okay. Because this is the next long segment,
Yeah,
10:30, and then they start getting shorter. Okay. So this will be the next long one. Okay. And when we come back, no, your commercial is not.
Yeah, it's third.
Okay. So we're good for that. We're good for that. You're good, right? Except you're shattering, you're shivering. Yeah. Okay. Shivering.
Shivering and
So it's being done under U.S. investigation.
Yes, it is in both cities. And I'll, you can just throw the ball and make me stop.
I'm going to.
I usually do.
I just want to point that out. We can do that. Okay, so we'll talk about when that comes in. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay. Hi. Wave to the camera. Say hi to people.
Hi, Mom.
No?
probably not.
She could watch on her cell phone.
That's why I was running late because I had to go do the cat.
For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has supported the rights
What
of
did we say we're going to do for segment 6?
to keep and bear arms. For over 100
We're going to talk about some of the other things that we're doing within both cities.
Firearms
Well, we're
training.
going to
What?
He said firearms training with U.S.
Except we're now about to talk.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it now.
So
Yeah.
said gun ban or what?
Yeah, we can talk about the shootings that are banned. In
Yeah.
segment 6. The shootings or a gun ban. What would that have? Or the how banning would affect our economy, because it would.
You said something about mass shooting
Yes, I
and
did.
gun and banning of guns.
Yeah.
And I said, why do we have
Yeah, punishing law-abiding citizens, because of mass shootings.
how about this?
Okay.
I don't think we should deal with the financial part. I think that's another issue.
Go ahead. With what?
I just think that would be distracting to give somebody the opportunity to jump all over, oh, it's about money now. It's actually about protection.
Yeah, it is about education and protection. So we'll stick to that. But when I was talking about the economy, if you pull it out of the economy altogether, it will affect the entire country. So, but
If you ban guns, period. Yeah.
Then you have
I'm looking for
technology.
something I can talk about for about 10 minutes.
Think of something.
Now, one thing we could talk about is, but you may not want to talk about this. One thing is, should we have guns in schools? In
We should
Utah,
talk about it.
they do, and there's never been.
We should talk about that. Yeah.
That's something we can talk about.
Call the security experts to try the LiveWatch security system. There are no long-term, and if you're not completely satisfied, you can cancel at any time. Try LiveWatch now by calling 1-800-500-9903. That's 1-800-500-9903.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. We have in the studio this evening some very interesting people from the far south side, I guess south side suburbs, you could say. J.W. Fairman is the manager and director of public safety for Sauk Village, and Bola Delano is the village manager at University Park. And we're talking about the support for concealed carry and following the the laws for concealed carry and home protection. And also in the studio is our old friend John Howard IV, who's with U.S. Investigations Protection Agency. And you're not here just because you're this good-looking guy. You're actually here because
thank you.
You got some, and you notice I say because you're not. Did I say that wrong?
You said not because.
Oh, not because. I was wrong. You're not a good-looking guy. You're this hulking killer-looking guy. Okay?
He thinks I'm good looking.
But
He does.
He
but
just
you're
doesn't want to admit it on the air.
you're actually here for, you know what? We may not make a lot of sense on this show, but we have fun. So, but John, you're here for a very good reason, and you actually kind of set this whole thing up, and I thank you for that. What is the role that you're playing here?
Thank you for having us. I want to commend Bola Delano. I want to commend J.W. Fairman, for being here, taking a step forward.
I agree.
For communication, for education, for concealed carry. Also, the rest of the trustees in both cities that voted for this. I mean, this is a good thing. It's about education as well.
And so what is it?
It's here. Concealed carry is here. It's about doing the training in the cities, making it available for the residents of both cities, as well as residents in Chicago and other surrounding cities that's in that area that can come and be trained by professionals. If they're not trained by us, is get it from someone that's good. It's as long as you get the education and you know what's right, you know what to do, that is a very good thing. You can't ignore it. It's here. It's part of our, they say it's part of our culture, but it's time to learn. Even media personnel can sit in the courses and train and understand what they talk about when they're doing reports on it, so they can understand exactly what a semi-automatic pistol is versus thinking AR means assault rifle instead of armor light rifle. These are things that people need to understand, not just how to use the firearm to defend themselves. Certain terms people use, well, I'll shoot to kill. No, you shoot to stop a threat.
Yeah,
and these are things that people need to understand if they're going to exercise their Second Amendment rights, get FOIDs, use FFLs to buy or transfer firearms. They're very important. Education is a key.
You're listening to On Target Radio. This is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Should communities be actively supporting concealed carry training? Now, you're going to have a location now, right?
Yes, we're currently in Oak Brook Terrace. We're in Utah. We're in New York. Now we are in University Park, as well as Sauk Village, Illinois.
Where will you be doing this?
Schedule on usibureau.org, where people can schedule, register for the course. Yes, there is a background check. We can't train anyone that's a current felon, so we do background checks before we train anyone, which is something that is pretty rare because we're enforcement. But the availability, of course, being within a municipality is something new. That's trailblazing. And we're making this available.
I actually can't. Can you think of any village that openly supports doing that? I can't think of any.
I don't know of any.
Even the most conservative ones. I don't think anybody does.
No, I don't know.
No. And that's why I say I want to commend both cities, both sets of trustees, the leadership in those cities for supporting this. This will be good for their residents and residents of other cities.
Sure.
This is available now. We want to actually push this throughout the United States, and we're going to do that. We're very aggressive at trailblazing.
Bola, you made an interesting comment during the pre-show briefing, which you're a very pragmatic person. And it isn't a question of do you like it, do you not like it, is it good, is it bad? The question is, it's a law. And you as a manager, how do you cope with the law? I mean, that's basically your perspective. We have to deal with the law and we got to do it right.
Absolutely. And I just want to say, right up front, I'm not an expert on concealed carry. However, since it is a law, my concern for the residents and most importantly for everybody in Illinois is what are the potential implications if we don't train and educate people on how to use a gun, or if they are confronted with in a gun situation, how do they deal with the issues? So I, on behalf of the mayor, want to be in the forefront of public organizations, me in this case municipalities, to make sure that this becomes a proactive public safety initiative for our communities. But most importantly, for most of our public enforcement officers within the region to actually have a place to be trained, a place to be updated on the law, and also a place to communicate and mingle with local community people who are complying with the concealed gun carry initiative by having a gun and actually having that interaction. So that's basically what we as a village are looking to be in the forefront of managing and promoting. And hopefully we'll have some other communities that will work with us on this as well.
Well, and you know, I think you have to look on a situation like this. It's a resource. It's not just training people for concealed carry. You have a resource in the community. You know, we do a lot of public speaking. We talk to groups about different subjects. We do that like Refuse to be a Victim program, which isn't even a gun program. It's just how to minimize being victimized. It's not a hit or miss. They're and I know John. I've known John for several years now. And I mean, you're looking at somebody who's a resource in the community, not just there to make money, but actually becomes an integral part of it. In fact, we lose money hand over fist. But it's you have a genuine concern for the community, and you want people to get it right. And as I said in the pre-show, and I know technically there are states you don't have to have any training at law, and I know that it works out. But here's the thing: I always say, with privilege comes responsibility.
Yeah, and that's true. And they're taking a step. The officials that are here are going to actually be sitting in a course doing the training, the concealed carry training. We not only offer training to the general public, but law enforcement. As I stated before, we offer ancillary training to personnel who carry firearms as part of their duties. We have non-lethal options, pepper spray, but the elected officials are going to sit in a course, educate them, become educated, and be a part of this. So they want to have an understanding of what's being taught to their residents. So they're going to sit in there first and see what we do. Yes, we have an excellent reputation for training, and that's public information on our website. But they're going to actually, like I said before, I commend them for taking a step and sitting in the course, going through all the training and being pepper sprayed.
Did you get pepper sprayed?
Not yet.
Not yet. But I've got one in my bag, though.
I want to be there and take movies.
I'm sure we'll get a lot of support there on that day for the folks that will be doing that. But again, for the officials, they don't have to do this. You know, they want to. They want to see what we're doing with their community, with the people in their community, what they're going to be learning in their communities. And JW said it best as well. Your safety cannot be guaranteed.
Yeah. And when we come back, we're going to have to take a break here in about a minute or so. I actually want to specifically talk to you, or have you talk to the audience. You have an interesting perspective, JW, because you came from the South, and I've taught down there. There's a mindset in big cities like Chicago, New York, Detroit, LA. There's a mindset that, oh, guns are bad, and nowhere does it work. And yet we both know in the South, it's a very different thing. We do know it works. It's a mindset kind of thing. So we're going to have to take a break. Got to take breaks. But when we come back, I want to hit on that. I want to talk about that a little bit. You'd made some interesting comments in the pre-show brief, and I think they're worth bringing that up. So that's kind of, we're going to go with that. You're listening to On Target Radio, and
I also, John kind of touched on this a little bit, but I think it's great that this is going to be in proximity to Chicago, because as we know,
Yes.
Chicago still doesn't have any gun ranges.
even though they're supposed to.
Not yet.
Right. It's supposed to be allowed,
Yeah.
but it hasn't happened yet. And so people in Chicago need that resource, need someplace to be able to go and do this.
Okay, so that and more when we come back, and we're going to hear about what it's like living in the South. All of that and more on Target Radio when we return. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Republican candidates for president debated for the first time, and you heard it exclusively on.
I've been probably had. Have you been tased?
Yeah.
I said, I don't want to carry a taser that heavy. We had a guy like you, right? And he goes, bring it out. Oh, cried like a baby. So then they pick him up off the floor, and he goes, "Oh, okay. And now I understand what it is. Go ahead. Now I can do it." Cried like a baby the second time. The third time he said, "Okay, no, I get it now. I can do it. Hit me." He goes, "Okay, I quit."
Yeah, that's exactly what I did with the pepper spray. I saw a little can, and I asked, what's it gonna do? Come
What
on,
can it possibly do?
Let's go. You're gonna have to give me a double burst. That was the worst pain I felt in my entire life.
I give you an example. I was at Joe there one day, and we had an altercation in the gallery, and about 60 guys saw me working by myself, you know. I should carry these little, and it's like church, and I had these little, what they call mighty mites, look like golf balls. I took them out, I said, okay, you know, what's going to happen here? We're going to defecate, we're going to urinate, and guess what? You're going to die. And guess what they said? He said crazy. They always like themselves. But I was like, I'm not going to no psychologist like that. You know, I ain't going to get sexualist or warden or something like that. We all going to do this. We're going to take a shower. So they said, but you got to understand that. And guess what? Because I had a boat pop. I said, what are we going to do? They stopped. All six of them went back in the
You know, I'll tell you, gangbangers are more afraid of OC than a gun because they know we can't just shoot them arbitrarily, but I can hose them down. And so you pull out that OC spray, and it's like, okay, wait.
OC spray.
That's why I was standing back when you pulled it out.
Because you know what? You know what? If you throw those things down there and they grab them and burn them, so yeah, guess what? So that's why they know it. They're like, it's great. I'm like, okay.
OC spray, Louisiana's greatest gift to the population. Yeah, wonderful.
Devil in a can.
Yeah.
That's what
I was doing security at the county fair for the sheriff's department, and I had sprayed somebody the week before, and you know it's oil based, it doesn't evaporate. And I it was like 90 degrees and wearing body armor, and I touched the nozzle, not knowing it, and I'm wiping my head and I go, oh no. Well, my chemical wipe is in a car on the other side of the fairground, and I'm running around. Every time I see a fountain, I throw water. And one might tell the next one, I throw water on it.
Yeah, water only has a psychological effect.
It feels cool for a minute. Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
It's worse than tear gas?
Yes,
no,
it
it's
is.
oleo resin capsicum. It is made. The Scoville number. It's made from hot peppers from Louisiana. And if the Scoville number is like 8 billion, it's like it'll melt steel. I mean, it's horrible. It's just horrible stuff.
In California, they say, oh, we got to do it. You know, your piece of it, right? So they had to train it. They didn't want to come back.
You go through the training.
Oh, yeah. I'll do it.
I told you. I'm a brother.
I mean, I'm boasting about it now. Everybody come in.
I'm not you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's serious.
Oh, yeah. Georgie, why do we get phone calls and they go away?
We didn't wait till I closed the door and then
It was John from Creighton.
Oh.
I told the residents of Sauk Village and University Park Hills.
It was twice he called?
No.
I saw two.
The first guy was calling up. He was asking.
Did he have an answer to the question? Is that one of those guys?
I actually had one of those in the last 2 years.
Oh, okay.
There's a syndicated show that it's live here on Saturday nights at 8. It's called Hollywood 360. They go Twilight Zones and Jack Benny and stuff like that. Well, they have a trivia every week, and then it broadcasts out, and they have 800 of them. The people calling it rings this month. They broadcast out other stations on Sunday nights in California and Philadelphia, so I get those random calls.
Wow.
AM560 The Answer. Is it RoboCop?
They call my show and answer your question like yesterday.
And all you have to do is either A, turn on the 800 number on Sundays, or B, just say if it's not Saturday night.
At the beginning of every segment, they should say this is from a previously recorded, a previous live.
Listen.
That's 773-9806 Stone City. It's your home, only better.
Here's some great news. Jack Tabota of Tabota and Associates can help you with your retirement game plan. You know Jack, or you should. Jack is the president and founder of Tabota and Associates. He's been helping folks just like you retire successfully for 3 decades. Jack has the insight, information, strategies, and experience you can use to build wealth and keep it. Live good. Retire well with Jack Tabota of Tabota and Associates. 630-777-7955. 630-777-7955.
Are you prepared to stay safe and warm if a winter storm knocks out power? Ice, wind, and heavy snow can slow down restoration, so have extra blankets and supplies on hand to help weather a prolonged outage safely. And before venturing outside, be aware that ice and snow can hide dangers like downed power lines that are energized. Learn more about winter storm safety at safeelectricity.org, sponsored by the Energy Education Council.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. Hi, I'm Rick Cizak, Advertising Sales Director for the On Target Media Group. If you own a small business and need more exposure to potential customers, and what small business doesn't, we can help. For over 2.5 years, the On Target Media Group has been helping small businesses grow. We offer many different and affordable marketing packages through our partnership program. Plus, we can even create a custom program tailored to your business needs. To find out more, contact me today at sales.ontargetradio@gmail.com or visit our website at otmediagroup.net/sponsorship. We look forward to helping your business reach its target.
And we need these sponsors, so do it. Just do it now, okay? Our guest this evening, our old friend John Howard IV from the U.S. Investigations and Protection Agency, and Bola Delano, who's village manager of University Park, and J.W. Fairman, who's manager and director of public safety of Sauk Village. And specifically, J.W., we talked in the pre-show briefing about how you grew up in Mississippi, and I taught in Louisiana. It's a very different culture down there, and gun ownership is like taken for granted, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But you know, to address that issue we were talking about earlier is it's a matter of, I believe in the castle law. I mean, I think that people should be able to protect themselves.
Right.
This issue now has become a public safety issue in terms of concealed carry, giving the people a right to deal with that. But in the South, we didn't have a lot of burglary. I mean, you didn't have that. You know, people had never thought about that because everybody knew that everybody had a gun, I guess, or didn't even think about that unless they were out in some bar or something like that. I mean, as far as I remember. So yeah, I mean, it was like they used it for prayer, for obviously their safety. They used it for hunting and those type of things. And so when I came to the cities, and I found out that it was totally foreign to me that somebody would tell me that you can't have a gun in this city to keep in your house just to protect yourself or the inhabitants in your house. I thought it was like, how can somebody protect me and they got to come wherever they got to come from and something happening? I mean, it was just, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like I'm a parent, I'm a child, you know, kind of situation. And now that we're dealing with this issue with concealed carry, I think that what it is really is a public safety issue. I mean, all this hysteria you hear about, oh, everybody's going to be carrying guns. It's a wild, wild west, You hear from all different sectors of this country's populace. And I think that, you know, if we are training people, you know, to be responsible, if they're going to be, you know, able to obtain a concealed carry weapon, that I think that, you know, it and has improved public safety. And I don't think we'll have this kind of rampant, outrageous stuff about we're going to have people running around shooting people. That's just mine.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right. And historically, we know that some states have had concealed carry for very many years, and it's just it's a non-issue. It's just a non-issue. Law enforcement, a lot of people, they buy into this. The state will protect you. The reality is, if you're in Japan, I don't remember the exact ratio, but there's like a cop for every 4 blocks or 6 blocks, whatever it is, and they have the right to go into your house anytime they want. They can stop you on the street, look in your bags. They're very polite about it, but they have that right. I don't ever see that happening in America. Americans would never put up with a cop walking up to the door and just saying, I'm coming in. You know, and if that's the case, and think of the tax burden to put enough cops on the street to do that, it's crazy. In the end, People have to be able to defend themselves. And as we say all the time, the odds that you'll ever have to do it are not really high. But if you do have to do it.
Well, I agree. My final comment is, and who's most vulnerable is the people, in addition to people that don't have the means to protect themselves, at least for the short term, is actually the elderly. I mean, you hear about robberies where people come in and they take this, so they can't do anything about it. I mean, to me, when you say that people should not be able to protect themselves, even if they go through the training kind of logic that certain agencies are talking about, it's illogical in my mind.
I agree completely.
We have a good question on Facebook from Eric. He says, have Sauk Village and University Park, have you seen violent crime reductions since concealed carry became law in Illinois?
You got 1 minute.
We haven't actually got any specific statistics to date, but I just wanted to address one point in addition, that what if should be the questions. What if you are confronted with this situation? Where can you go to if you're confronted in a similar situation? How can you deal with this situation? And why do you have to deal with this situation? So in response to the question, these are the educational questions that we are sharing with our communities to address the concealed gun carry agenda, but we haven't actually got any specific statistics to respond.
It's a little early.
Yeah.
Well, we've just I think, completed our second class, so there's not been enough time to measure any kind of effect on crime, at this point in time.
Yeah. When we come back, I want to talk some more about that. And this whole concept, law enforcement will protect you. And this is no blame laying on the doorstep of the cops. But the reality is you can only have so many police on the street, and they can't be everywhere all the time. And you know what? You don't know you're a victim until you are one. And then from then on, how long is it going to take? So we'll talk about that and a lot more when we come back with more On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Remember, you're on camera.
Oh, I was like, what is this on the side?
So what are we doing in segment 6?
I don't know. You tell me now.
What are we doing in segment 6? Now's the moment. We got to announce it.
We're talking about the schools.
Okay. Should people be armed in schools? Does that work? Can we talk about that?
That'll work.
Where or not it goes anywhere, we'll find out. And that probably will lead down all kinds of paths. So that's it. Should firearms, should concealed carry permits be allowed in a school? Which they are in Utah.
They are in Utah.
What Eric actually said is, yes, talk about guns in schools and the perspective of the village managers of the inability to carry in government offices.
Which
is also good because you're defenseless.
Yeah. Okay. Schools and government offices. That'll give us something to chew on.
Yes.
Should concealed carry permit holders be allowed to carry in schools?
They're not proactive. Some people react to it. To some of the students that we have, that I've had, is because they were in a situation prior. Then they wanted to take a course to learn how to defend themselves. Only after
they learn hard way.
Right after an unfortunate situation has occurred.
We used to say in Vietnam, there's no atheists in foxholes.
Yeah, sometimes you need that really real wake up call in order to realize how important it is.
Right.
But what I talk about in our classes, I mean, most of our classes are mostly made for people who haven't had any bad.
Oh, guess who's on line 1? Intern guy. Intern guy's on line 1. We'll take your call.
I always say we have insurance for all sorts of things that we don't actually know are going to happen.
Okay.
Fire insurance, flood insurance.
Right. You don't know what
you have to come here.
Think any of those things are really going to happen.
Good question. I'll just ask you. I'll hit you.
Yeah, this is just an insurance.
We're going to do intern guy.
Okay, so we'll do that in person then.
Okay.
I'll be ready after that.
Wow.
One of our astute listeners says that Bola needs to speak into the mic. So you need to pull that mic up closer to your mouth.
Right in my
I heard her.
Yeah, it's almost like if you eat the mic. That's just how they are. They don't pick up very well otherwise.
9:44 and 20. All right.
That's how they told me anyway when I was
former intern.
$5 a month. Learn more by calling toll-free 844-450-2273. That's 844-450-73. This plan is not health insurance and does not replace health insurance. Members pay participating providers directly and receive discounts immediately. Savings varies by provider and service. Cancel within 30 days and get a full refund less processing fee. Discount Medical Plan Organization is Carrington International Corp, Frisco, Texas. This plan is not available in all areas. Call 844-450-2273 or go to mydiscounthealth.com.
On Target Radio, on AM560 The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. And George, you put up on the board, former intern guy, B. Thomas Schmoltz is on the phone. B. Thomas has been gone for 1 week. He's homesick already. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
I'm doing okay. You got 1.3 seconds to make your point. What you got?
Don't worry, I'm good. I just wanted to make a comment. This is on a previous segment that it's funny because the people who are so extremely against guns are the same people who pride themselves on statistics and science and so on and so forth, but they refuse to acknowledge the fact that statistically guns do make us safer. So I just thought it was funny.
You're right. And the very people who yell the most about you shouldn't have guns are the ones who are surrounded by armed bodyguards.
Mm-hmm. There you have it.
And that's the truth, isn't it? Good to see. You haven't even left yet, have you?
I'm in the process of packing.
Okay. All right. Well, keep calling, buddy. Thanks for calling. Good to hear from you.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye. Former intern guy. Georgie Teller still coming up. We're going to do a segment 6.
Yeah, actually, we are going to do a segment 6 tonight. It's going to be on should concealed carry permit holders be allowed to carry in schools and government offices? And you can find that on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/On Target Radio.
Okay, so youtube.com/On Target Radio. That's going to be an interesting one. Particularly with we've got kind of an interesting cross section. You coming from the South and you coming from Great Britain, where I was there when they banned steak knives. Okay, and I mean, so there's going to be some, and then we have John Howard, who is, if it's bad and it moves, shoot it kind of thing. We got all kinds of guys.
We have an elected official and two other people who also work in government offices.
That's true.
So.
We have county board, village. I mean, this is an interesting. And me, the leech. I don't really do anything.
You're just the talking head.
The talking head. I'm the pretty guy, right? Okay,
That's right.
no,
pretty face.
So one more little just quickie thing about what you got going. You got property, is that it? You're actually bricks and mortar? How's this working?
Well, like I said before, you're
in Oak Brook, but I mean down there.
Right. Down there, we're going to be working on a huge project. I don't want to talk about it too much right now, but
you are.
Possibly we'll be having the largest training facility, gun range in the entire United States. That is what we are projecting.
Are you going to invite us to come see it?
I'm thinking about it right now.
Oh.
Okay, thought about it.
Give him whatever he wants.
Yes, the facility will be used by law enforcement, local, federal, county, state. It'll be used by the civilian public. We'll have, and this is all in the planning. We'll have sections of it just carved out just for specific agencies, and I can't go into that. But really,
you've been working on this a long time.
Very long time.
Yeah. As long as I've known you, you've been working on this. So,
and also the good thing about what's happening in University Park is there's an existing range there that we'll be making available through our agency for instructors to qualify their students under our watchful eye, of course.
Hopefully, better conditions than the last time.
Yes, absolutely. We have we have cooperation. We have Bola Delano.
There you go.
Okay.
What more could you ask for?
That's all we need.
You have a Brit promoting firearm training.
I think that's
that's another trailblazing thing right there.
That's a sign of the apocalypse, I think.
Yeah. You hear that sound? That's your passport
Oh,
burning.
yeah, absolutely. Nightmare.
No, but it's it is really it's refreshing. And again, as we said earlier, it's not a political thing.
No,
it's not a political. And people try and make it that. It's not. It's
It doesn't
just
have to be that.
That's
No,
what you're absolutely right. It's
no.
just a basic right to be able to defend yourself.
It's
That's
your
all.
choice. It's your choice. I tell people, it's you got plain M&Ms, you got peanut. I don't like plain M&Ms. I really don't. I prefer the peanut M&Ms. But maybe I should just ban the plain ones because I don't like them. They have what Mounds and Almond Joy. You have choices. I'm not trying to force anyone to. Well, I just want everyone right now to start training and go out and buy a firearm. I don't want to force people into anything. I don't want anyone to try to force me or anyone that we're training into not being able to defend themselves. You know,
and here's the interesting thing about those of us who do training. People will come into course, particularly people who've been shooting for a long time.
Yes.
They'll come into a course and they'll go, I don't really need this course. I've been shooting my whole life. And on the way out, when they write up their evaluation, they go, I never heard this stuff before.
Exactly.
And that's the problem with this is you don't know what you don't know. No. That's the problem. People have sometimes that attitude. It's like it's testosterone based. I'm a male. I can do it. Women, on the other hand, come into training and they go, you know what? You got to teach me. I need help.
Yes, and we have male and female students that have come in because of unfortunate situations that occurred.
Yeah.
And instead of being proactive, they are reacting to a situation that occurred. Now the reality is, I want to be able to defend myself. I want the training. I want to learn. I want to know everything. And they go beyond just a concealed carry, which is just concealed carry. It allows you to carry, get a license, but you can go beyond that with more advanced training. And that's for both law enforcement and the general public. I mean, we're making things available, non-lethal, like I said, pepper ball. So this is what we want to do, and we want to copy this. I don't want to call it a cookie cutter, but we want to do this in Utah. We want to do this in Florida. We're doing this in New York. We're a range is being built in New York. We have operations going on in New York as well.
So when we're going to come back, we're going to wrap it all up. Gretchen's got some action items, right?
I do.
So we'll do that, and we're going to wrap the whole thing up, and then we will come back after the show with segment 6, which you can watch at YouTube/On Target Radio, and we'll be talking then about should you be allowed to carry firearms into schools. You're listening to On Target Radio, and this is AM560, The Answer.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
They have ideas about at least, because they were told that they would have to approach an attacker wielding a firearm with scissors.
Yeah, exactly. That's
And
brilliant.
they don't like that. They think that's crap.
Yeah.
So scissors are perfectly good for cutting paper. As Dr. Feldman told me, perfectly good for
Well,
cutting
and
paper.
it's like don't bring a gun to a knife fight. You don't bring scissors to a gunfight.
Right.
I mean, if somebody is coming at you with a knife, okay, scissors might be adequate, but
But see, it's a mindset too, Gretchen, of the teacher. Like I said, you don't want to force. They have to be able to have the mental capacity to be able to defend themselves as well as the students there.
Yeah, not every teacher's going to want to do it. But
Jewelry
for somebody
stores.
who knows what they're doing, it makes sense.
Banks, jewelry stores, armed personnel protecting the jewelry. Schools.
Do you remember?
Exactly. Those kids are our jewels. We should be protecting them as
Exactly.
well as we protect our money.
Do you remember? I don't remember how far back it was. The one that long ago, where the state police at the state fair were issuing tongue depressors to women.
That was
Yes, gag yourself if you're sexually assaulted. You're supposed to take the tongue depressor
throw up.
and
Make
gag
yourself
yourself
to turn off your attacker.
Right, to turn off your attacker. Now, some attackers, they don't care.
No,
okay?
it's not about. It's not about.
Right. I mean, there's guys that have gone to bars and seen women throwing up after you leave a bar and want to propose to them. So, what is the tongue?
What's the tongue?
Yeah. What's the tongue defense going to do? Oh, she's throwing up. I think that's sex.
Are you good to go?
60 with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. And You've got some stuff to give us this weekend, so we're going to go ahead and Gretchen's going to tell you what's coming up.
Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
The Aurora Sportsman's Club Action Shooting Sports Division will be raising money this Saturday, August 15th, for the Alan J. Lynch Medal of Honor Veterans Foundation. This private club will open up their practical rifle stages in the afternoon for anyone wanting to give it a try. There will be a $5 requested donation to shoot the 200-yard stage and a $10 requested donation if you would like to be timed and scored on the 225-yard stages. They will even have a shooter's choice stage in which you can shoot rifle or pistol. The event will include a raffle for an AR upper and food and beverages. Donations requested. The Aurora Sportsman's Club is located in Waterman, Illinois on Rough Road. Join them this Saturday, August 15th from 1 to 5 p.m. to raise money for this worthy cause. I put this event on our Facebook page earlier today. The women's holster class that I teach is changing to a girls' night in format only. The class addresses firearm selection, rationale for female-specific holsters, demonstration of about 9 holsters, and plenty of time to try them on and discuss concealed carry. If you would like to schedule a fun, informative get-together for 4 or more women, contact me or David directly by email, phone, or Facebook. The following Safer USA classes are all at our office in Waterman. Saturday, August 15th, Illinois Concealed Carry 2 for those who have an exemption for the first 8 hours, taught by Gretchen. Saturday and Sunday, August 15th and 16th, NRA Basic Rifle Shooting, taught by David. Saturday, August 22nd, Tactical Rifle 1 and 2, taught by Eric. Saturday and Sunday, August 22nd and 23rd, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry, as well as Florida, Arizona, and Utah. Saturday, August 29th, Tactical Pistol 1 and 2, taught by David. Saturday, August 29th, Long Range Rifle, taught by Ed Janka. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
And there you go. You know, you can put stuff on our calendar too.
I will.
Okay. Our guests this evening have been J.W. Fairman, who's manager and director of public safety for Sauk Village, and the delightful Bola Delano, who's village manager at University Park. And I've always liked the British accent. I always have. And, you know, a guy can get on television with a British accent and could say the most stupid things, and people can go, "Oh yeah, it must be true." If you sound like you're a Brit, got to be right. It's really true.
Trying to say I'm saying something stupid.
Yeah, I probably didn't word that as well.
He's saying you could read the phone
I
book.
I wasn't touching that one.
No comment.
You know what I'm thinking, JW? I had to shut up right now while I'm ahead. Yeah. But seriously, John, we thank you for introducing us to these great folks, and I think it was a very interesting show. And we're going to do segment 6, and we're going to talk a little bit more. But I really do appreciate it, and I particularly appreciate the fact that you are doing what you are doing in your communities. I said it before; it has nothing to do with your political beliefs. It has to do with just the common right that people have to defend themselves, and it's that simple. And we have, on the one hand, the pragmatic approach. And then on the other hand, we got the ex-law enforcement guy, and in between, Gretchen was state, I did county. John just picks up these people and drags them back to jail.
He just arrests felons.
Exactly.
No big deal.
So it's been an interesting show, and I do thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And we need to do it again because we found a bunch of topics that we talked about back there. So anyway, thank you for being with listening to On Target Radio. Be sure to listen next week when we cover the red meat issues that affect your life.
We'd also like to thank Bola Delano, J.W. Fairman, John Howard IV, George Hoffman on the board, our social media coordinator and ad sales director, Rick Cizak, and our sponsors, TS Arms, the Illinois State Rifle Association, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, Stone City Kitchen and Bath Design Center, and Safer USA.
And always, I would like to thank Mike for making it all happen.